What's up, everybody, and welcome to BioS 3 Raw TV. We're going to talk about something here because it's really got me upset. There's Brady running around in the background. And that is this article that I read. It's on AtlantaBlackStar.com. And it popped up in my feed on Facebook. Somebody shared it. And the headline of the article says, "Telling poor, smart kids that all it takes is hard work to be successful as their wealthy peers is a blatant lie." What in the fuck is wrong with you people? Who the fuck is writing this garbage? It's a lie? All right, we'll start. It says, when it was revealed that low-income students face greater challenges in school and are far less likely than their wealthier peers to attend graduate college, the message to the disadvantaged group of students was simple: work harder. It was a new twist on the dreaded work twice as hard as to have what your peers have. Now, time out, okay? This is the biggest fucking bunch of bullshit I have ever heard in my fucking life, okay? I grew up in Warren, Rhode Island from 9th grade up, okay? Which is the smallest town, like, in fucking the entire country, pretty much, right? And one town over that was pretty much where I was born in Providence, but I lived in Barrington until 9th grade. It was actually a rich community. You actually had celebrities that lived there. It was a fairly rich community. Now, we lived in West Barrington of Bay Spring, which is actually a kind of the bad part of town, even though it's not bad. Low income. We were one of the lowest income in that town, right? You know, kids from my school went to graduate and go to Brown, Bryant College. These are good schools in our area. Brown University, one of the, Ivy League college, what the fuck. And yes, I had to work twice as fucking hard as those kids. And not because they had money, okay? It's because shit like math came easier to them, English came easier to them, pretty much science, everything fucking came easier to them than it did to me because of dyslexia and ADD. Now, it had nothing to do with fucking money. Not one fucking thing to do with money. When I graduated high school to go to the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale, I had to take out a loan at fucking 17 years old and have a cosigner for it because I was too fucking poor and couldn't afford to go. And my parents were too poor and didn't have the fucking money at all. And they couldn't even sign because, they couldn't even actually get a loan and give it to me because their fucking credit was so poor. So I was probably about in the worst circumstance that you could be in, and I still went to school afterwards. Okay, why? Because I wanted to do it. When I left school, and bear with me because this is, leading up to, where I'm sitting at today. Some of those kids that I went to school that actually had a decent amount of money, they're doing okay now, but they're not doing well. They don't have good jobs. Some of them don't even have jobs. Some of them are actually hooked on drugs at 40. Some of them have failed marriages and fucking are in a complete goddamn mess and have gone bankrupt because of that. There are so many things that have gone wrong for these people with the money, yet here I sit successful with businesses that are international and all over the internet, magazine covers, all these things going on, and I didn't have any money. No money. I was from a poor family. When I got out of school, when I decided I didn't want to go to school to be an artist, I came home and I got a fucking job at a gas station. Okay? None of those people that, were in school with me that had the money ever had to work at a gas station. Not once did they ever have to fucking work at a gas station or wait tables or do any of those fucking blue-collar jobs like fucking rake gravel, cut lawns. They didn't have to do any of that shit. Okay? And they still have failed at many, many things in their life and are actually not doing as well as I am right now. So to say that, because you're poor, that it's, it's a lie that if you work harder, you'll get ahead. Fuck you. Why are you saying that? Whoever's saying that wants these kids to fucking fail. Nobody told me work harder and you'll do better. Nobody told me that. Nobody told me, hey, these guys have money and they're going to fucking do better than you. Nobody fucking told me that shit. Okay, what I did was have my own fucking brain instead of these mindless little drone fuck sheep kids that are running around nowadays that fucking, oh, tell me the answer. What should I do? How about use your fucking brain? How about use your fucking head? Say, that person's rich. How did they get rich? They weren't born into it, so how did they get rich? They worked hard. Fuck. Well, can I do the same thing? And this article's telling people no? What the fuck? No wonder why these kids are so fucked up. Are you kidding me? Literally, I could sit back and say, I came from fucking just about nothing. Literally just about nothing. There were times when my mom couldn't pay the rent, and we moved a lot when I was a kid because we couldn't afford the rent. We're talking like $500-600 a month rent, and we couldn't afford it. And my mom would borrow the money from my grandfather, who wasn't rich either. He died with about fucking $30,000 in the bank, and pay the rent for that month, or we couldn't afford to eat. She would borrow money from him to eat. You know, all my other family, we would all chip in and help each other out when everybody was fucked up. We didn't have money. We came from nothing. You know, like, I see shit like this and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're like trying to literally raise kids to be fucking failures and say if you're poor, you're going to be that way for the rest of your fucking life? I mean, it's like, I don't even know what to say, but it says like many of these students do step up in the plate and work hard to obtain the type of academic scores that exceed expectations, but even that isn't enough for them to overcome such daunting obstacles. Because it's not about fucking grades. It's not all about how you get fucking grades in high school and what you can fucking do to get grades. Anybody can memorize shit and fucking do well on a test. Well, not me, because I fucking suck. But the bottom line is, you're not teaching these fucking kids to think critically. You're not teaching them to fucking think outside the box and think for themselves. How the fuck do you become successful? By thinking and using your fucking brain and not regurgitating algebra, which they may get fucking straight A's in algebra. You know why you need algebra in life? You don't, motherfucker, all right? General science, that's what you need. Do you need all this fucking biochemistry? Unless you're going to be a chemist? No, you don't need fucking biochemistry. What the fuck? What in the, I don't... You know, a 10-year study of the Department of Education in 2002 revealed that not only are low-income students often struggling academically, but even when they do excel in the classroom, their chances of obtaining a bachelor's degree were still bleak when compared to their wealthy counterparts. Why the fuck do you think that is? Why the fuck do you think that is? Why are you comparing it to like the wealthy counterpart? Why aren't you saying fucking this many people got out of their situations and 10 years down the fucking road after this, they were doing better? So they didn't get a bachelor's degree. I didn't get a bachelor's degree. I bet you I'm doing better than some of those fucking wealthy kids are right now. Like, you're not getting it. Like, they're cherry picking this to say, wow, you know, you're not going to get your bachelor's degree, so you're going to be fucking complete failure. There are plenty of people out there that did not go to college, that own fucking sports teams, that have fucking businesses that are doing very well, that didn't have to get a fucking degree. So I don't understand what this article is trying to do, other than the fact that it's, you know, these kids that read this are going to go, oh, see, it's okay. I come from a poor background, so I don't really have to work hard because I'm never going to accomplish anything. Because that guy over there was born with money, and he's going to do better. I mean, I know people with money that have lost. But what the fuck? Look at Mike Tyson. Motherfucker was getting paid $45 million a fight. He was goddamn broke. Just because you have money doesn't mean you're going to have money for the rest of your life. And just because you have money doesn't mean you're fucking smart and going to do the right things with it. Like, if these people are rich and they started out wealthy and they fucking die wealthy, guess what? They use their fucking brain and use the money the right way. They didn't spend it all on fucking Ferraris and buying a lion to put in the fucking front yard and a Bengal tiger and have a chimpanzee as a friend. Like, I don't get it. Rather than teaching kids that, you know, yes, you have to fucking work hard, but you need to be fucking smart. And smart doesn't mean doing well on a fucking test in school. That has nothing to do with being smart. Let me just explain something to you. When you get out of school, college, all that shit gets left behind. Whatever you've learned that you can apply, which are small amounts of the shit that you're going to do in school, are, you know, to me, the biggest thing you learn in school, social, how to be social, how to interact with other people, okay? How to, you know, to work together as a team. I think that's like a big thing right there. And how to be a fucking individual. I think that is one of the things that, you know, I think is definitely being left out nowadays. You know, they're always telling me, well, be you. And then they're like fucking, well, you know, you're low income, so you're going to be just like these other kids that are not wealthy and fail. What the fuck? What if that kid's fucking not like that? What if he's driven as motherfucker and he doesn't do well on his test and he fucking grows up to be a millionaire by the time he's 26? Give me a fucking break, people. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, I see shit like this and I'm like, I hope this is fucking like a joke. I hope this is bullshit. Because I'm the fucking living embodiment of the fact that you can do absolutely poor in school and fucking fail miserably and flunk out of college and wind up working at a gas station at 18 years old and be successful by the time you're 40. No, you may not be a fucking millionaire by the time you're 19 years old, okay? You may not be a fucking millionaire by the time you're 20 years old. Matter of fact, you may not be a millionaire in your entire life. But if you die with $100,000 fucking dollars in the bank and saving, guess what, motherfucker? You are more successful than the people probably writing this fucking article. BioWarsTraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biostrength.com is a blog. It's to be successful despite these cocksuckers' bicep, and we're out.